Hi and welcome back. Today I would like to present you one of my crazy ideas, which would be a generic selection screen that can be configured using customizing tables. As this is not crazy enough, I developed the whole construct object-oriented and using the MVC pattern. The Model View Controller design pattern specifies that an application consists of a data model, presentation information, and control information. The pattern requires that each of these be separated into different objects. Today, the MVC pattern is used for modern web applications because it allows the application to be scalable, maintainable, and easy to expand. The content of my program has been greatly shortened by the MVC pattern, as most of it has been outsourced to classes. We start as usual with the event initialization, in which I now call the method of my controller class. If something does not run smoothly, the screen is not called. Now let's run the program and marvel at the selection screen generated at runtime with all the configuration options our developer's heart desires. The entire selection screen is generated as a report with the command generate report and called up with the command submit. Let's now take a closer look at the configuration of the selection screen. First, we define which application can be called with the MVC pattern and whether a generic selection screen is desired. There are also additional authorization checks to perform during the initialization of the application. In the next part, we can configure a selection screen for our previously defined applications. Configurations such as the height or the report title, which can of course be translated, are defined using the visible customizing table. Now that the basic configurations are done, we can move on to the visual part of the selection screen. In the following view, we define the different tabs for the subdivision of the selection options. Possible configurations are the register name, the length, and the sorting order. Within each register, further subdivisions within groups are possible. The configurations are similar to the register definition. I don't want to go into details here and jump directly to the configuration of the selection options. Here we now have the freedom to fill the different groups within registers with the respective fields. It is possible to differentiate between parameters and select options, as well as between checkboxes and radio buttons when using the parameter type. The typing of the individual fields is done using the two marked columns. The designation of the individual fields is done using a possible dictionary reference, or can also be entered and translated manually. Advanced configurations like using a modif ID or reading predefined data using the memory ID within the user settings are possible. Selection options can also be extended with the no extension and no interval configurations. For all selection options, there is also the possibility to include customer-specific F4 search helps, as well as setting the flag for a mandatory input. Finally, customer-specific exit functions can be stored for the respective events within the selection screen. Here is a short example of an exit function in which a specific field within the selection screen is additionally manipulated. Let's take another look into the implementation of this idea. In the initialization phase of the controller instance, the program configurations are loaded, and the objects, presenter, and model are instantiated. After the checks have been made, the event for calling the selection screen is triggered. Through this call, we now jump to the presenter object in which the selection screen is prepared. After calling the event, we are now inside the presenter object, in which the selection screen is generically prepared using the customizing tables. Let's have a closer look at the object for preparing the selection screen. The 5 static methods are called as soon as an event is triggered within the selection screen. The remaining methods are used for the entire formatting of the program in which the selection screen is subsequently present. Here is a little insight into the preparation. After formatting the program lines in an internal table, the generic program is created using the generate report command and then called up using Submit if there are no incorrect customizing settings. At this point, the selection screen appears and the end user now has the options to maintain the selections. As soon as the Execute button is pressed, the remaining steps are executed. This would be the reading of the selection values and the subsequent triggering of the event that takes us back to the controller object. Within the event method, another event is triggered to write the selection values into the designated model object. This way we have a clean separation between the data and the view, and everything is controlled through the controller object.